Alright, everybody, back with one hit for every NBA team. I did this for baseball a few weeks ago, and same premise here. Not necessarily my best card for every team or my most expensive card for every team or anything like that. Just chose one nice card per team that I liked at the moment that I was choosing. So let's get started. And again, we're going to go in alphabetical order by city. So let's start with the Atlanta Hawks. Got this Mookie Blaylock die cut auto from SP Authentic. Bought that from Ground Chuck in a Facebook sale he was doing. Really like that card. Really good old school point guard, but got in trouble a bunch of times off the court. Next for the Boston Celtics. Can't even remember if I had any other Celtics hits, but really like this one. Dave Collins autograph, numbered 1/49 from Panini Lux. Pulled that a few years ago. One of the few times I bought one of these high-end Panini products. But just like how that card is kind of like a metallic type card. It had the silver and it had the gold border ones. Just always liked the way they did those. Next up we have the Brooklyn Nets. For the Nets I did Brooklyn and New Jersey Nets. But like I said, it's in alphabetical order by city, so the New Jersey Nets will come up later. But there's my Brooklyn Nets hit. It's a nice looking Crown Royale Marshawn Brooks auto. Shout out to Tony R619 who pulled a bunch of autos of this guy. He was like an okay bench player for a few years, but yeah, they made way too many autos of him. Now for Charlotte, I'm going to show one for the Bobcats and one for the Hornets. First for the Bobcats. Here's a finest rookie auto of Adam Morrison. Really good scorer in college, but just didn't do much in the NBA. Thought he was going to be a decent NBA player. Not sure what happened. Yeah, there you see his final year in college, averaged 28 points per game. I don't think he averaged even half that in his NBA career. And for the Charlotte Hornets, I chose this old school Eddie Jones jersey piece from Fleer Feel the Game. It says Miami Heat down there, but still wearing his Charlotte gear there, and that's clearly a Charlotte Hornets jersey piece there. Nice two-color jersey piece. Always liked the design on these old Feel the Game cards, which they brought back on this next card I'm going to show. Next card is for the Chicago Bulls. And figured I'd show a Michael Jordan jersey card. I don't have a Jordan autograph and probably never will, so might as well go with a Jordan jersey card. But there you see, they kind of brought that similar design back years later. Eddie Jones is from 2000, 2001. And the MJ's from 06, 07. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, didn't really have any good player hits for the Cleveland Cavaliers, so just chose this guy, Luke Jackson. No idea who that guy is. Maybe some real Cleveland fans remember him, but I sure as hell don't. But just a really nice looking patch there, 3-color patch, numbered to 75. For the Dallas Mavericks, chose this Dirk Nowitzki jersey card. Even though it's like badly creased around the jersey window, which would happen a lot with a lot of these early jersey cards for some reason. I don't know if they just didn't figure out how to make them yet by that point, but yeah, I remember that would always happen right around the jersey window. You'd have some creases. It was still a nice Dirk jersey relic. Next up is the Denver Nuggets, and just chose this card because I really like the look of these fresh paint cards from Court Kings. Still want to get the Porzingis from this set. Been wanting it pretty much since his rookie year, just never picked it up. But his Emmanuel Mudiay had some good seasons with Denver and briefly played with the Knicks. Next is the Detroit Pistons, and I actually had some better Detroit Pistons hits than what I'm going to show, but again, when I do these videos, I'm kind of trying to show cards that I otherwise wouldn't show in other videos, so I went with one of the biggest draft busts ever, Darko Milicic rookie jersey. Got picked number 2 overall the same year that LeBron went number 1 and Carmelo went number 3. I think D Wade was 4 and Chris Bosh got picked around there. So yeah, great rookie class, but Detroit went with this guy at number 2 and really did not live up to the hype. He had like some good shot blocking seasons, but was expected to be a great all-around player. Just didn't really happen. And for the Golden State Warriors, I chose this card here, this really nice Latrell Sprewell autograph, numbered to 25. I got that from Scotty Aranya. Love that card, love that shot of Sprewell there. It's kind of like a trademark pick of Latrell from back in the 90s. He would just attack the rim like he was angry at it. Still want to get a Latrell Knicks auto and maybe even a Latrell Timberwolves auto. And for the Houston Rockets, chose another former New York Knick, Jeremy Lin, jersey card. Pulled this from a box at Donruss a few years ago, back when I was still buying boxes. That was 2017-18. So yeah, it was kind of cool pulling a Jeremy Lin jersey card, but bittersweet seeing him in that uniform. That was when they signed him away from the Knicks. Wanted the Knicks to keep him, but in hindsight, it was the right thing to let him go. The Rockets really overpaid him, and he ended up being injured for most of that contract. Next up is the Indiana Pacers, and chose this one because it was kind of weird in a good way though. It's Peja Stojakovic, but it says Hornets back there, so I guess that's when he signed with the Hornets. But he's wearing a Pacers uniform, says Hornets, and that's clearly a Sacramento Kings purple jersey there. So you have basically 3 teams represented on one card, so just got a kick out of that, so wanted to choose that one. And now for the LA teams. First up is the Clippers. And I actually had a different card chosen for the Clippers, but in the big lot that my uncle sent me a few weeks ago, this card was in there, so I replaced the other Clippers card that I had in here. I wanted to show this one. This Elton Brand auto from Topps Pristine. Kind of a cool looking chromium design to it. But yeah, and I've always said I liked Elton Brand. He was a number 1 overall pick. Didn't quite live up to the number 1 overall pick hype, but still had a nice career. And always seemed like a pretty good guy too. And this next card has 2 players on it, but this is going to be my LA Lakers card. It's a dual jersey card with Kobe and LeBron. Got this in a group break like a long time ago, before I even fully understood what group breaks were. It was around the time I was getting back in the hobby, and I was on this trade site and they started doing group breaks, so I joined in on a few of them. I think the team I had in the break was Miami, and they had to do a random since it was 2 teams and ended up winning it, so really happy I got that. And for the Memphis Grizzlies, chose this one just because it looks kind of cool. It's a 4-piece jersey card of Zach Randolph, numbered to 99. But yeah, Zach Randolph bounced around 5 or 6 different teams. Really found a home with the Grizzlies for a while, put up some good numbers there. And for the Miami Heat, I chose this nice looking 3-color patch of Chris Bosh, numbered to 25. The forgotten man out of the big 3. I saw him play a lot when he was with Toronto, and he was a legit franchise player. You could have easily built a team around him, but he chose to go with his buddies over there to Miami. I'm sure he doesn't regret it, got 2 championships out of it, but I always wonder what could have been if he would have gone to his own team and, again, had a team built around him as a centerpiece. Now for the Milwaukee Bucks. Was having trouble finding a hit for the Milwaukee Bucks. Was starting to think that I might have to give up on the Bucks, but found this one is actually a 5 relic card. On the front you got Tayshaun Prince, Drew Gooden, and Danny Granger. Then on the back you have Luol Deng and Charlie Villanueva for the Milwaukee Bucks. So there you go. That's my Milwaukee Bucks hit. Alright, moving along with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Chose this Terrell Brandon jersey card. Really good point guard in the 90s with Cleveland. Didn't watch him as much with Minnesota, but nice looking card. And I did the Charlotte Hornets earlier. Now I'm going to do the New Orleans Hornets. Chose this J.R. Smith, SPX rookie. Auto jersey rookie. Say what you will about him, but always enjoyed watching him play. It was really exciting to watch. Sometimes exciting for the wrong reasons because he played kind of wild. But yeah, and I love these old SPX autographs from all the different years. SPX rookie autos were the big time autos to get back then. And for the New Orleans Pelicans, didn't really have any newer Pelicans cards with the new uniforms and all that. So I chose this one. This Lance Thomas. Still wearing his New Orleans Hornets gear there, and that's a Hornets patch. But it says Pelicans right there and has the new logo back there. Yeah, I really liked Lance Thomas when he was with the Knicks. Old school type power forward. And speaking of the New York Knicks, they're up next. Obviously had a bunch of Knicks hits to choose from, but chose one of my favorite Walt Frazier autographs. Just really like how they did these from Upper Deck Trilogy. It's like a piece of glass. He signed it right on it there. It's a really nice design. I know they've done this a few times for a few different products, but again, just love the way that looks. Alright, let's see. Still got a decent sized stack left. Taking a bit longer than I thought it would, but we'll get there. Next up is Oklahoma City, and I chose this Kevin Durant auto. Probably not very popular with the OKC fans anymore, but chose him to represent the Thunder. And for the Orlando Magic, I actually chose a booklet of Nikola Vucevic, number to 149. Just a big jersey swatch in there. But still like the look of those. I have two of these actually, so if there are any Vucevic fans out there, let me know. Next up is the Philadelphia 76ers. I think most of my Sixers hits went to Wesker Griff, but sorry Ed, couldn't send you this one. My Joel Embiid auto, number to 35. This was actually a redemption that I pulled from a Snodzilla break. So entered the redemption. Forget how long it took to get to me, probably a few months, which isn't too bad. It's funny that we say a few months isn't too bad for redemption, but really the card should already be in the box to begin with. And for the Phoenix Suns, chose another one of these SPX rookie autos, Amari Stoudemire. This one's a few years earlier than the J.R. Smith I showed. This is 02-03. The J.R. Smith I think was like 05-06. But again, love all these old SPX rookie autos. Love Amari too. Really fun player to watch. Perfect combination of power and finesse. Next up is the Portland Trailblazers. I chose this Robin Lopez auto from Gold Standard. Kind of an interesting looking signature. But yeah, his twin brother, Brook Lopez, has always been considered the better brother, but Robin has come a long way. Like at first, I thought he'd be gone from the league after like 2 or 3 years, but he worked hard to turn himself into a pretty decent all-around player. Next is the Sacramento Kings, and I had a few Sacramento Kings relics, but it was real easy to choose this card as my Sacramento Kings card. This great looking Isaiah Thomas patch auto, number 10/10. So the card itself looks amazing, but what makes this even cooler is this was Ricky Russo's final giveaway. I ended up winning this, so definitely one card that will never leave my collection. Next is the San Antonio Spurs, and at first I couldn't find a San Antonio Spurs hit because I started putting this stack together weeks ago. Like as soon as I finished the baseball video, I started looking for basketball cards to make this video, and again, just couldn't find a Spurs hit. I was almost going to pick a Kawhi Leonard numbered card just because, again, I couldn't find any Spurs autos or relics. But then in the lot that my uncle sent me recently, there was a Spurs auto in there, so chose that one. Avery Johnson Autographics auto. Love these old Autographics cards. I'm sure a lot of Knicks fans don't have any love for Avery Johnson. Hit that big shot against them in the NBA Finals. But I have a lot of respect for him. He was like a little guy, I think under 6 feet, and bounced around early in his career, bounced around different teams, bounced around different leagues before sticking in the NBA, so had a lot of perseverance. You gotta show respect to guys like that. And I included a hit for the Seattle Supersonics, even though they don't exist anymore, but had a Sonics hit, so figured I'd show it. Jersey card of Luke Ridnour. I remember my friend was really high on Luke Ridnour, thought he was going to be a star. And for the Toronto Raptors, I chose Mr. Toronto Raptor, Vince Carter. They had some good players before him and some good players after him, but I feel like he's the guy that really made that franchise popular. I actually just saw there it says Game Worn Shorts. I always thought that was a jersey card, but it's actually a shorts card. So that's cool, something a little bit different there. For the Utah Jazz, unfortunately didn't have any Stockton or Malone autographs, so went with this Mo Williams rookie auto from SP Authentic. That's 03-04. That was LeBron's rookie year and all those other guys from that great rookie class. I didn't buy a box of that. Like, there's no way I could have afforded that. Found this in a bargain bin for like $2 or $3. Yeah, Mo Williams was a solid player on the Cleveland Cavaliers team the first time LeBron was over there. Just one of those solid, like, veteran point guards that bounce around. And the final team is Washington. I'm going to show 2 cards for them. One from when they were the Bullets, and then one for the Wizards. First for the Bullets. I already showed this one when it came in. The George Mirasan auto from the egg auctions. But definitely worth showing that again. And then for the Wizards, I chose one of the biggest #1 draft pick flops of all time, Kwame Brown. But man, that's a really cool looking card. But yeah, I remember the huge hype around him. Again, #1 pick, and he had like the stamp of approval from Jordan, who was running the Wizards at the time, but just didn't really amount to what people expected him to. I mean, he still hung around the NBA for like 7 or 8 years, which is more than any of us can say, but yeah, again, did not live up to the #1 pick hype. Here, let's put both of these guys back there, since they will always be linked together. But yeah, that's the last card. Would be cool to see some other people try this for any sport. I'm sure everyone has some cool cards hidden away that you don't really ever show. And again, it's a lot of fun just looking through your collection and picking some cards out like this. But that's it from me today, so catch you guys next time.